All right. And we are live. And let me post the Twitter link. All right. Yo, 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 yo. This is your boy Awesomeisjayell, aka the biggest music artist in the metaverse. And right now I am sitting next to Anthony from Flipper.io. How's it going, Anthony?
Hello. I wish I could match your energy. I'm going to do my best.
Nah, man. I'll do it for you, man. I'll do it for you,
Yeah.
man. I'll do it for you. I'm
Let's do it.
hyped.
No, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Good to be here.
I'm always hyped like this, man. Hey, major shout out to everybody in the chat that's showing up. I see a lot of Awesome World Discord members here. I see some major supporters of Flipper.io. I'm very excited to get into this interview. Right before we get started, I want to go ahead and share our sponsor for this episode. Let me go ahead and hit the screen share real quick. Bring this up. All right, let me zoom in so you guys can actually see the sponsor. I need a visual. All right, so today's sponsor is Space Cadets, right? The Space Cadets Twitter space. And this is the actual Twitter page. Space Cadets is actually hosted by me, Awesomeisjayell, and my partner, AI Love. So it says, join the Space Cadets Twitter space for our weekly wrap up of this week's latest in music, Web 3.0, crypto content, and more. So you guys can catch us every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. On the Twitter space. This is actually the Twitter handle, which is at Space Cadets X. I'll actually go ahead and drop this link right now in the chat so you guys can check that out. So make sure you guys follow the Twitter space so you guys can be updated and notified when we go live for our Twitter space. But once again, like I said, we go live every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. and you guys do not want to miss it. So now let's go ahead and jump into Flipper.io. Once again, we got the homie Anthony here. So let's go ahead and dive right into it, man. Let's just start off with the basics, right? I just want to start off with a real basic question, right?
Okay.
So for one, well, before I ask my real basic question, for one, did you guys go through a name change? Were you known as another marketplace before?
We did. So our original marketplace was called Free Roam. And we took an awful lot of learnings and experience from building Free Roam. It took us, from the top of my head, around 6 months, something like that, to build Free Roam, and a lot of effort, a lot of work went into it. And building Free Roam has resulted in us crafting what I think is now an unstoppable team on Cardano, to be honest. It provided we can maintain it. And fortunately, the Flipper team skill combination that we have now, we didn't have when we were building Free Roam. And it just covers so much more ground. It makes us really resource efficient so we can build a lot. And that's resulted in Flipper, like basically version 2. It's the V8 version of Free Roam.
Okay, so you guys had a lot of experience with just collecting analytics and data, so you guys could pretty much, improve upon what you guys laid down as a foundation.
Yeah, I think it's the marketplace. Everybody who's already built one marketplace would build, because they know everything that they wouldn't have done the first time. And it puts us in a really nice spot. And, we've been doing it every single day. Basically, for the last year, it's been nonstop building marketplaces. The first one was Free Roam. It was really good. A lot of people really liked it, but it lacked a few crucial things. And so we took a step back, took the opportunity to build the team and bolster kind of what we had already. And now we've got something really special. It's time to turn it on. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. That's amazing. Immediately, man, when I first went to the website, I was like, oh, this is so amazing. Like the layout is so clean. I'm a sucker for what can you say? Like I'm a sucker for artistic direction, and also just great visuals and solid concepts. And immediately once I went to your website, I was like, oh, okay, these guys have an actual direction. I love this direction and what you guys are doing, especially with this minimalist website, getting straight to the point. So one of the things that first stood out to me, because I was actually privy to free roam. I actually love free roam. I'm always for growth in the community, especially when it comes to decentralization by way of just having more as an option out there. You know what I mean? Just for Cardano as a platform, especially when it comes to NFT marketplaces. So, I'm happy every time a new marketplace comes into the ecosystem, that way we can spread the love around, everywhere. You know what I mean?
I hear that. I think also it's needed more now than ever, in my opinion. There's been a few marketplaces that sort of, now that the crypto market's tanked a little, they sort of closed up a little and stopped pushing on the gas and slowed down. And obviously that healthy competition, that's what we're here for. And yeah, it's needed more now than ever, now that, ADA's down where it is.
Yeah, exactly. But, as we like to call it the build market. This is the time for us to rear up and, pull out the big guns and continue to, work on that foundation that we laid out for ourselves, prior to the, build market. So, one of the first things that stands out, I love this website, but one of the first things that stood out to me was the next generation Cardano Hub. Right.
Yes.
That stood out to me specifically, especially when it comes to NFT marketplaces. Right. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room for us on Cardano is OpenSea. I want to say that's kind of like the elephant in the room for all, NFT marketplaces, and so immediately when I seen next generation Cardano Hub, I thought OpenSea, but I thought to a whole nother level. You know what I mean? So could you please just break it down for me?
We can get into that. So, okay. I guess off the bat, you can see that it doesn't say Cardano Marketplace. And it's not that it isn't a marketplace, it is. Mm-hmm. It's just that we think that we don't really want people just to come to our website or just our application just to buy something or just to sell something. I think it's nice if there's a whole host of other things that you can do. There's a lot of interesting and fun things you can do with the UTXO and account-based modeling, and it gets fun really quickly if you like to do that sort of stuff. And we don't really have an extremely strict roadmap, but we do a lot of experiments, mostly from moments of inspiration, of a couple of days of where somebody sort of writes a message in the group chat that says, hey, I reckon maybe we could try this, and gets people's minds thinking about, let's give it a go. And we spend 2 days hacking away to see if there's a diamond hidden in there somewhere. And some of the best things that we've got on Flipper that everybody will see, and we'll get into a little bit here, have just come from a little bit of inspiration and experimenting and seeing what is possible. Of course, we look to the likes of OpenSea and LooksRare and other marketplaces and even just other cryptocurrencies that have been around for longer for inspiration. But we don't want to get into the trap of just copying. If we want to build OpenSea, we can just build OpenSea quite quickly. It's difficult to be authentic and build something new. And I think a lot of opportunity is provided on Cardano because of its different foundational layer. It's not account-based, it's UTXO, which means you can think about the whole idea differently. And so we've done a few experiments, and we can get into what some of those look like later, perhaps. But yeah, we're going for Cardano Hub as opposed to Cardano Marketplace.
So okay, that's great. That's definitely a great explanation. So when you say Cardano Hub, is this cross-chain? Or
it's in the roadmap that we don't have. It's in the vision. It's in the inspiration. We don't really see why you would intentionally gate off users from using your platform. I understand the idea of you don't want to build on ETH perhaps, or you don't want to build on Solana because maybe it opens up the doors for some attacks or something. But if there is good tech out there in a particular area and people are excited to use it, and you can maybe build it, I don't see why, as a business, let alone as a principle, that you would just block off those users because you firm-headed and say, no, I only build for Cardano. But no, we want to build for a lot of different chains. Ergo is definitely the most the first one that comes to mind. But there's more than just Ergo. There's a lot of chains out there.
Yeah, exactly. So those are my sentiments. Exactly. That's exactly why I asked. Definitely, I'm more on the side of things of kind of leaving things open, leaving things open to, other blockchains to come and build, you know what I mean? And showcase what they have to offer as well.
Yeah.
Because we all know the end game is interoperability. So, we're all just kind of playing to that a little bit, we're not diving in super deep just yet, because there's still tools and resources, that need to be created to, sponsor that whole situation. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so that's great. That's great that you guys are staying open-ended like that. So let's just jump into some of the other things that I've seen on the website. Well, for one, let's talk about the name Flipper.io. It was kind of funny to me at first because I'm like, oh, flipping NFTs, is that you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure you guys did that with named it that with that in mind.
That was intentional. Yeah.
Okay. So exactly. So put me in the mind of you guys as you kind of came up with the name, and talk about how it plays into the infrastructure of the whole site, or the whole hub, if you will.
Sure. So it wasn't my idea. It was actually other team members. It was one team member called Barney, and also my co-founder Harry. They sort of randomly sent me this message one day that said, "What about Flipper?" Spelled like this, and I was like, "What do you mean? What about this name?" It's like, it's called Free Roam, and I was pretty boneheaded initially. I was like, "No, we should stick with this name." But they slowly started to explain the whole sort of vision behind it, and how we're in a crypto winter, and maybe Flipper is a penguin, and it's Flipper, like flipping NFTs, and we need to build through the crypto winter, and maybe something at the end happens once we emerge from the crypto winter. And I really like the idea of that, and also there's a bit of a deeper metaphor behind it if you really want to get into it, which is our logo is an iceberg, and every now and then icebergs flip over, and it's a pretty big task for them to flip over. Obviously, they're enormous, and I suppose as a startup or an up-and-coming marketplace in this space, you need to sort of flip over the iceberg. You need something to happen. You've got a big task ahead of you. And that's, as soon as we sort of stumbled across all these ideas, the flippening, all of these things, we're like, oh, it's too good. We can't walk away from it now. So we doubled down.
The flippening. I like that. That's a great story, man. That's amazing. That is amazing. Cause like I definitely do feel that sentiment of just friendly competition between marketplaces. You have a marketplace coming from here the next day, and then one day you got another marketplace coming from here, and it's very suspenseful.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
So that is cool. That's cool that you guys actually have that in your name, just the whole inspiration behind it. When you say you guys are looking to flip over the iceberg. So so that is cool. That's amazing. So let's talk about some of these features that you guys are talking about for flipper.io, right? So the first thing I see here is cutting edge features, access to the latest and greatest features that change the day-to-day trading of NFTs on Cardano. So what type of features, analytic features that help with day-to-day trading that you guys will be implementing that is different from, say, the competition?
Sure. So we can get into it, and I should preface this by saying all of these features that I'm going to say are already built. We've already done them. They're in testing as we speak right now. We're just sort of listening to the feedback from those 5 to 10 users who have been playing around with it, listening to it and doing the small little tweaks. But they're all functional. They're all tested to death. And based on that, nothing matches us. I think we've got a really unique team of people. And so on launch day this month in September, we will be launching with referrals, and we can get into each one of these, whichever one takes your fancy. We'll be launching with referrals, bundles, multi-listing, native token trading. So you can trade with Yummy or any other coin. You could sell a bundle of Yummies for 1 million Yummy token, as well as regular marketplace trading and probably a few other things that I'm forgetting. But there's a lot of features that haven't been done on Cardano before, and this is why we've kind of been difficult to hold it back, because we're excited to let people play around with it and use it.
Yeah, you got me excited. When you said you can sell a bundle of NFTs for Yummy, is that what you said?
Yeah. So we will be launching with a handful of native tokens accepted. You're not going to be able to do any of them. There's a small kind of technical reason for that, just because people could manipulate the price if the total value locked within the token wasn't too high. But if you were following our Twitter, you'll see that there's a few hints at the ones that are coming. So there'll be the likes of Makosi, the MCOS token. There'll be Pavia. There'll be a few others as well. You guys probably saw that. I'm forgetting one now off the top of my mind, but Society, Yummy token, of course, as I mentioned. Like, all of these tokens will be added from launch day.
Wow. Yo, my mouth is wide open. Chat, do you guys hear this? Do you hear what Anthony is saying right now? This is amazing. Like, I see why you guys can't hold it back. Yes, that is amazing. And the amazing thing about this and what you're saying, everyone has coins from drip drops. Everyone has coins, and maybe they're lucky enough to have the appropriate coins, for your website. That's amazing. That is definitely a game changer, in my opinion. No other marketplace is really doing that right there, especially to that degree. That is amazing. That's a major plus right there. It's a major plus. Shout out to Matasa says great stuff. Yes, I agree. I agree, Matessa. I definitely agree. It's definitely great stuff. Shout out to S Dizzle 562. That is one of the Space Cadets members. Major shout out to S Dizzle in the building. So look, let's go ahead. Let's keep it moving, man. Let's keep it moving. Let's talk about the decentralized vision, right? It says Flipper.io is designed to benefit the whole Cardano community. Everyone can be rewarded for using Flipper.io. And I actually seen a couple things about being rewarded Flipper token for making purchase on the on Flipper.io. Okay, could you please just go into more detail about that?
Yeah, so the decentralized vision, I guess, touches on two things, but we can address the first one, which is the rewarding users. That's probably what people are most excited about. And so I guess the most similar token to draw comparison to here would be LuxRare. If those of you who are familiar with that on Ethereum, you basically get tokens for using the platform. It's a really nice way of rewarding users for interacting, and it also means because we will have a DAO alongside the holders of Flip token, you'll then be able to use those tokens that you earn from using the platform to have some say and make proposals and vote on what happens with the platform. So it's a nice way of rewarding those users for using it, and then if you use it, you have a say in how it works. And I think that's quite a nice. We thought about that for quite a while to make sure that it wasn't just for no purpose. And I think it's important to give people a say in what happens with that. And the actual inner mechanics to get into it briefly, I do highly recommend, if anyone is really interested, they should head to Flipper.io and check out the website, because there's a white paper in there, and it goes into much more detail. But the Flip token will in a nutshell, reward you for listing and buying at or around within a given percentage of floor price for a particular collection. So if I list an Ape Society NFT for 5,000 ADA, and that's where the floor is at 5,000 ADA, then I'm going to be getting some flip tokens if that sells, or even just if that's listed for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's an amazing system. That once again, definitely on the brink of innovation with that too as well. Man,
it's not quite finished yet. I'm gonna end it with that. It's not quite finished, but
okay.
It's gonna be really great when it launches. And I think a lot of all of these things that we're adding, we don't really know how the community is going to react to them, because that's the thing when you build things that nobody has quite done yet. You know, we don't know what's going to happen when we release native token trading to Cardano. Maybe they love it. Maybe it goes crazy. Maybe, you know, people only like this one little bit of it. But it's fun to release those things, and I think it also helps mature the market a little bit. It gives people more options. They can do this if they want to, because at the moment it's not possible. And so we just want to provide as many tools and options as possible. And if you want to do it, if you want to get listing rewards, if you want to get trading rewards, if you want to sell bundles of Pavia for Pavia token, then you can do it now. There's no excuse.
Yeah, that's great, because a lot of people have been looking to do that for some time. You know, like I said, people got these tokens. They're ready to spend them. They're ready to sell them. They're ready to trade them. You know what I mean? It's just, we got all these currencies and we're just waiting to be able to use them. So that is great. That's definitely great. So one of my next things I actually want to discuss is, this is one of my biggest things, because I'm a creator myself and I'm an artist myself. You know what I mean? But highlighting Cardano, we will show the world what Cardano can offer, from artists to creators. We want to build a hub for everyone. So one of the questions I want to ask you is, how will Flipper.io make things easier for the creators and the artists?
Well, I've got a question for you as well, because I want to try and see if we can make Flipper a little bit better, because you're a creator yourself. So
okay,
I'd be remiss not to ask you how you found it. But you know, we want to abstract and take away as much of the technicality that requires, you know, at the moment to do these things. And it's starting to become possible. You know, more and more tools are being built, but it's only just the beginning. There's lots of people like yourself who I'm sure just want to make great music all the time and upload it, you know, and be able to do and showcase it exactly how you want, as opposed to these sort of rigid rails that you've got to stay on. I've seen over the past few weeks, there's been more people coming from Ethereum that come over and they say, oh, you know, you don't go to Cardano for the artwork. You know, it's meant as a bit of an insult to the network, and they say that, you know, it's not very good artwork here. Of course, it's not completely true, but there is a small bit of truth to it, because it's difficult to do it. And if it's difficult to do it, people will go to the easiest one, and the easiest one is Ethereum. And so people are going to put all their, you know, if you're a fantastic artist, you don't want to learn how to upload NFTs via a UTXO model to a, you know, you don't want to worry about all of that technicality. You just want to do what you're good at and showcase it to the world. And so that's the reason that more people go to Ethereum, more people go to Solana, and they showcase their artwork there, even though it's more expensive. And so if you can build these tools that allow people just the option, if you make the option, then people can have the choice and they can use it. And I think that's what we're trying to do. And so I guess, given the fact that you're a musician, and maybe you're an artist as well, I don't know that, but what's your experience been with this whole process of uploading NFTs? Have you managed to do it? How did you find it?
So my experience with uploading NFTs, I wouldn't say is necessarily hard. I don't think it's hard. It's not really the word I would say, but I would say it's still a tedious process. And it's still like this trial and error part of it too. Like, it's still a trial and error part of it where it's like, oh, I have to do tests. I got to run tests. Like for instance, like if I say, you know, because I'm an artist in all sense, right? You know, I do graphic design, you know, I do NFTs, you know, I do music as well. You know, some of the things I want to do with my music NFTs, it's like if I want to have a spinning record, you know, if I just want to have a spinning record animation going, like I feel like when you're doing things like that, it gets harder. It's like, okay, well, there's a limit, you know, there's a capacity limit on what you're uploading, or you know, this GIF is not going to do this, and the metadata has to be like this in a specific way. So I feel like when it comes to us just trying to be experimental and do more things that's more privy to the web 3.0 space, I feel like doing those type of things need to be way more easier. Like and in turn, I think what would happen is you would get more creative art. You know what I mean? You would get more creative art, and you would have more of that edge, like a, you know, like a ETH, you know, as you use for an example. Because the easier we make that learning curve, the more the artists can actually focus on their actual discipline in their craft. You know, so yeah, like you said, it's very instrumental to make sure those tools are easy to use, very easy to use. But like I said, to answer your question, it's not hard, but I wouldn't say it's easy either. You know, as soon as you want to do something or branch out and be more experimental, then you have to do all this research, and then you have to, you know, kind of do test mints and all of this stuff. So so I would say it's kind of medium.
Yeah, I guess that's part of the price that you pay for being, if you want to try something new and you're sort of on the edge, this is only just coming to Cardano, then everything is not going to be easy, but of course the goal should be to make it easy. And these sorts of tools, they're definitely getting better. It wouldn't be true to say that it's not getting easier. A year ago, this was almost impossible for most people. And so it's come a really long way. But those sorts of things that you said there, like the metadata has to be this particular way, this is something that we've thought about with Flipper, and everybody who mints through our site, because we also have minting, I think I didn't mention that before, like collection creation and things, there'll be a slightly different standard to the metadata that we've sort of crafted. We think it's easier. It's got much nicer information to it. It means you can do the sorts of things that you said, like have a spinning record as you play your track, and you can see the record and you can listen to the music at the same time. And it's little things like that that creators care about. And then it has to be easy. And so doing all of these things, it sounds really simple, but it takes time. And I think as a community, everybody on Cardano is definitely getting better. But yeah, thanks for answering my question off the cuff there. I wanted to see what you said.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing that I've seen is kind of like more of a issue concerning music artists. I'm seeing that there's also nothing to kind of like protect music artists as well. Like on certain stores, and I won't name stores, of course, but on certain stores, you can, well, not even stores, you can go to pool.pm. You can actually listen to the music artist track. You know what I mean? And you don't have to purchase it, you know what I mean, to listen to it. Like, do you guys have anything, you know, for those type of things gearing more towards music artists that can help protect the music artists?
See, that's why I'm glad. We've actually spoken to a lot of music artists over the last few months. Actually, strangely enough, we keep gravitating towards music artists who are creating on Cardano and Web3. I'm not sure why, but it's been pretty good fun so far. We get to hear a lot of cool music normally. And as you said that, it kind of became obvious to me, but it's not a problem that I've encountered because I'm not an artist myself. And so hearing that from you, it's really, really obvious. And it gets me thinking about ways that we can solve that problem. It's definitely possible to solve that particular issue with, if somebody buys your NFT and they should be the only person that could listen to it. Of course, not everybody wants that option. But again, it's the idea that, give them the option, and it's a little button click, and you can make it private, or you can make it this particular copyright idea. And I know other people have, again, it's starting to happen with Cardano. I think copyright licensing inside of NFTs is a really interesting area. It's definitely something that we'll look at more. But as of right now, it's not something that we've got. But now that you've told me, now it's in motion already. I bet somebody who's listening from the team will hop on that, I'm sure.
Yeah, because yeah, I mean, one of the reasons you're probably one of the reasons you're encountering a lot more music artists, because right now music is actually kind of getting a lot more attention on Cardano, especially with, you know, we got major music industry artists coming to Cardano now, you know what I mean? So it's like it's kind of opening the floodgates for that. And so now it's like, okay, guys, we're gonna have to put a spotlight on music for a little bit and kind of, you know, make sure we're up to speed when it comes to security and, you know, protecting the artists in these different types of things in nature. So
yeah, okay, thanks for the heads up. Now we're ahead of the curve now. Thanks.
Exactly. And we'll talk more. We'll definitely talk more off air about that. Especially if I could be, you know, a music artist that could, you know, kind of give you guys the pulse, you know, of what's going on within Web 3.0 music. Yeah,
we want to know. So maybe we'll figure something out in the chat after this. I'm sure we can have a nice little area where we can stay ahead of the curve, and anything that pops up your side, you can let us know, and we really want to keep an ear to the community as best we can. As more people come to the platform, we really don't want to lose touch with what actually people want. One of the advantages that we have right now, I think, is that we have a really, really close-knit community from the NFT Ghost Chain NFT. That was, again, something that myself and Harry founded, and it was the spawning ground for Free Roam, which became Flipper. And this community has just been the sort of ear where we say these ideas and they say, you know, that sounds really good, or have you heard of this? And no, I definitely wouldn't do that because these guys tried that and it went horribly. And it's just great to keep that sort of connection with the users and the artists. And it's definitely something that happens with Web3, is that you have a much closer connection to the users. And so yeah, we'll keep an ear to the ground to see what's going on.
Definitely. I definitely appreciate that. Just your willingness and just being open, you know, to listen. That, you know, that's great. We need more of that within the community. That's amazing, you know, just for me to, you know, tell you an issue just offhand like that, and you guys are already working towards improving it. That's amazing. And I'm pretty sure, you know, a lot of people within the community love that as well. You know, we need more of that. Once again, let me go take some time out to shout out the chat. I see a lot of Space Cadets in the building, and I see a lot of Flipper.io supporters. What is up? Shout out to the homie and my business partner, AI Love on the streets. Major shout out to him. That is my partner for Space Cadets. Once again, Space Cadets is sponsoring the show. We air on Saturday at 10:30 a.m. and the link is in the chat. I'll post it again later. You guys make sure you check us out on Twitter and follow us on Twitter as well. I'll post that link one more time at the end. But yeah, shout out to AI Love on the streets. He also says definitely, and shout out to Dr. Oz too. So shout out to Dr. Oz in the building as well. Shout out to the homie too, Ellie. He says, great question, Jay. Music protection. Yes. We have to get the good questions out there. We got to, especially while we have Mr. Anthony here today. You know what I mean? Talking about this amazing marketplace that is Flipper.io. So major shout out to everyone who pulled up for the interview, and let's keep it going. So one of the next things I actually want to talk about is let me get my words right. The autonomous approach. More power to the user. The future direction and features of Flipper.io will be voted on by its user. So speak more to how you guys are giving the users the power to vote on future features?
Sure. So again, this sort of idea spans into two areas. It's the autonomous idea covers how we operate as what is now just a sort of core team working on Flipper, because we don't want to hire a ton of people and have a lot of expenses, because it kneecaps what you can do. You've got all of this money flying out, so you need to build automations and ways to get around that sort of these sorts of problems in more clever ways than just hiring somebody to do the job. And it's tough, sometimes takes a little longer, but in the end, we think it's going to be worth it, because we think we can tie it into the DAO idea, which I touched on briefly when we were speaking about our ecosystem token called Flip. And the reason we thought that it was such a nice sort of marriage between those two ideas is because you can use the platform, you can be rewarded in Flip. We're estimating this feature to be released at the end of the year, in Q4. Admittedly, we're almost in Q4 already, but hopefully before the year's out. And you can use the platform, and if you do specific actions like listing and just provide positive user interaction, whatever that looks like, sales, listings, and can be more things in the future, you can be rewarded for using it. And then you can take those tokens, and let's say you amass a fortune of 2,000 Flip tokens. You can then use those tokens to vote on a proposal, or maybe you can make a proposal and say, I think we should do this. And everybody else who has Flip tokens can make that proposal. And we're going to start to build out this idea. And DAOs are becoming, literally with this month, have started to become something that's more autonomous on Cardano. And it might be something that we have to build ourselves, or it might be something that we can partner with to expedite that. But the importance is giving the power and the right to have a say in how it runs, and also making sure the right people have a say in how it runs, because you don't want people who don't use your platform to have a say in how it runs, because they're not using it. And so by using it, you get Flip tokens, and those Flip tokens, you can then say how it works. I think it's a nice marriage.
Yes, that is. Once again, like I said, I would like to, give you guys major kudos for, listening to the users before everything even starts. You know what I mean? That's major, especially when it comes to creating a marketplace. You definitely got to think about the users, because the users are going to be there day in, day out. They're going to be the ones, run into issues if there are any issues. So you definitely want to include them. And I love that. That's amazing. I'm all for that. I think that promotes a healthy relationship, between the marketplace and the users. You guys are already starting off on the right foot, and that is amazing. I love that. So let's talk about the tokenomics. You talked a little bit before about how you can go about earning some Flip tokens, which, like you said, you guys are still working on that. But let's talk about some of the tokenomics with the Flip tokens.
Sure. So you found that was the I guess the investor side, if you're more interested in that side. But
okay,
the tokenomics is we spent a really long time crafting this. It wasn't something that we sort of just slapped up and threw it up there. We've thought about it in a way so that we can try and make it sustainable for the ecosystem. And as that ecosystem expands, it needs to be able to grow with it, but also be a force to help it grow. And it's also why we don't want to just kind of box ourselves into this Cardano NFT marketplace, because there's not really very many ways you can go inside that box of an NFT marketplace. You can swap NFTs, you can buy and sell NFTs, and maybe you can provide some statistics, and all of that stuff's great. But if you want to build and follow inspiration, which I know everybody on our team does, sometimes I have to try and quell the flames a little, because they want to start building something else, which is going to push back release by 2 weeks. But you need to have a driving force behind that, and Flip is going to be the token for that. There's various ways you can get it. Of course, We want to reward people for using the site, listing, sales, and other interactions. We want to reward our initial community, which was NFT Ghost Chain. They helped us get this far. There's no way we would be right here without them. And so you get it airdropped to you if you are part of the Ghost Chain community, and you have at least one NFT. And then you can also partake in the strategic token sale, which will be done through LCX later this year. And then that's going to be, our war chest to move forward and start to build, what people are excited about. And we wanted to build things ahead of time. We didn't want to, put up a white paper and say, hey, here's our idea, back us. Here's our idea. We wanted to show it. We wanted to build it first. We couldn't wait. We couldn't wait to get stuck in and build something that people needed. And we think that's what we're doing with Flipper. And it's just the beginning. As I said, it's going to look more like a Cardano NFT marketplace now, but in 1 or 2 years, I think it would be foolish to call it a Cardano NFT marketplace. I'm hoping we brand it as a crypto hub as opposed to a NFT marketplace, to be honest.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And once again, like I said, I'm glad you guys are open just out of the gate to that level of growth, and just being open to progressing the platform. I think that's one of the key qualities that you need to have, especially when with this Web 3.0 space. Yeah, Web 3.0 evolves so fast, man. Like, so if you come in with a idea and you're so concrete on that idea, that whole thing can just be shifted tomorrow. So you have to come in with an open, like an open-ended kind of approach. You know what I mean? Because when exactly. So I think that is great. That's great. And last, oh, my bad, Anthony. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, it touches on the idea of not having a roadmap. We have a vision. We know the sorts of things that users want it to look like because we listen to them, and we have an idea that we want it to look like. And it doesn't look just like an NFT marketplace. Just that question, yes, there will be analytics as well in there. It's something that we're looking at fleshing out. But we want it to be much more than that, and we think it can. And I think it's also beneficial to not just Cardano, but everyone across crypto. And it's going to be fun to build, and we're really passionate about building it. We've already built something great. There's a lot of new features in it, and I'm excited for people to use it when it gets released in September. I'm excited for people to start listing, their Ape Society or their Yummy in bundles and earn some flip tokens, and then they use those flip tokens to vote on, maybe what the next thing is, or what the next move for the community should be. And that governance side is really intriguing. And we understand that there has to be some sort of financial model or financial incentive for people to be excited about the platform. And so we looked to what Binance have done. It's strange to think, but only 5 or 6 years ago, Binance was asking for, off the top of my head, a few $1 million to build this CZ's idea. And if you look at it now, it's unrecognizable. And so we drew a lot of inspiration from the likes of these companies. And so we also added a deflationary model, which I think is mentioned in the tokenomics section. I'm not 100% sure, but it's definitely mentioned in the white paper. And so over the course of Flip's lifetime, as it helps us build the ecosystem out, it will slowly be burnt and chipped away until 50% of it is gone. And there's a lot of levels to it. I think if people really want to dive further into it, 100% check out the white paper. It looks nice as well. It's not a boring white paper. It's got lots of colors and nice pictures in it as well as some great content.
Great. Yeah, man, I definitely have to dive into the white paper. I haven't had a chance to check it out, but I definitely look forward to checking out the white paper. I know it's packed. That's why I was like, oh man, I got to find time to sit down and make me like a sandwich and make me like a sandwich so I can go through it. Because I know you guys are on your stuff. All right. All right. So the last thing we can talk about, and you actually been kind of talking about this the whole time, really, is kind of like a summary, kind of like a summary of everything you've been talking about: efficient resource management, making sure you guys develop what the Cardano community wants, while allowing more ADA to make its way back to your users. Burning resources sucks. So can you just kind of touch on that, and that'll be the last question.
Yeah, I mean, burning resources and burning oil melts icebergs, which nobody likes. So we don't want to do that. We to continue the metaphor, we have a really lean team. It means we can build a lot without really much investment if you compare it to the likes of a regular startup, for example. But we're passionate, and the unique skill set that we have as a team has meant that we can build things that are new for Cardano. They're fresh. Nobody's used these sorts of features in NFTs on Cardano before. So we're just really excited to release Flipper this month and get people their first peek at what's possible from myself and also the rest of the team and my co-founder Harry. But yeah, I just wanted to say, I guess, thanks for everyone's support and patience so far, because it's not easy to build these things, especially the community at NFT Ghost Chain. Their patience is pretty incredible. They've been winning us since January. So it's been a long time, and there's been a lot of when free roam, when Flipper. But it's really difficult to build these sorts of things, and sometimes unforeseen things pop up because nobody's really ever done that before, so you didn't have a playbook to follow. But we're here now. We're at the finish line, and we're ready to go to the next step with Flipper this month.
Yes. I'm ready to as well. So as far as the date of the actual site, the release date of the marketplace, do you guys have an exact date yet?
We don't have an exact date. That's just because it comes down to everything being perfect. We don't want something to slip through, and so we're doing a bit more testing, and difficult to put an exact date. But yeah, we'll have it out. We'll have it out by Cnft Con. Are you going to Cnft Con Las Vegas?
Yes, I actually am. I'm actually performing at Cnft Con. So yeah.
Well, we'll see you there. We'll see you there. We'll be on our nice little Flipper hoodies and merchandise, which would be easy to spot.
Oh, yeah. That would be amazing, because I like how the Flipper words look. I just like the Flipper, like how the words look. It looks cool, and the colors too.
I got something here, I think. Let's see. So you'll see us wearing these sorts of hoodies.
Oh man, those are fire. I like those.
We'll see. Like hopefully we'll have some left over, and if you swing by the booth at the right time, and everyone's in a good mood, we'll hook you up, I'm sure.
Yeah, I definitely will. I'll be the first one there. All right, man. Before we get up out of here, I'm actually gonna run our sponsor one more time. Major shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to the space cadets in the building. We have the homie AI Love on the streets, who is my co-host for Space Cadets. Major shout out to him. Once again, we're going to go over the sponsors, which is sponsored by, the show is sponsored by the Space Cadets. That is our Twitter space show that airs every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. I'm actually going to go ahead and drop the Twitter link again. Dropping the Twitter link again in the chat. You guys make sure you follow the Space Cadets Twitter, which is at Space Cadets X. I just dropped that in chat. And our description reads: join the Space Cadets Twitter space for our weekly wrap up of this week's latest in music, Web 3.0, crypto, and more. We also talk about viral videos and news. And so it's not just all about NFTs, guys. It's about everything. Our goal is really to onboard as many people as possible from Web 2.0 into Web 3.0 by way of talking about subjects they can actually relate to. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know about wallets and decentralization and stuff like that. So, our way of doing that is talking about subject matter that they can actually relate to: sports, fashion, news, and those type of things. So major shout out to Space Cadets, who is our sponsor for this show. So major shout out to everyone who pulled up for the interview as well. Shout out to Mixed Greens. I see the homie Mixed Greens in the building, another Space Cadets member. Shout out to 2 Illy, he's a Space Cadets member. Shout out to Crib King in the building. Also shout out to Bad Fox 4042 as well. Shout out to everyone who came to the interview. I really appreciate you guys for stopping in. And last but not least, thank you, Anthony, for coming to the channel and providing us this amazing information about Flipper.io. And before we leave, are there any shout outs you would like to make?
I suppose. No, I'll say thank you to everybody who supported us to get to this point, because we've got a community of, somewhere between sort of 5 and 10,000 now across all the different socials. And they're really passionate about what we're building. And so I guess I got to say thanks to NFT Ghost Chain. If anybody doesn't know what that is, it's the spawning ground for these sorts of great ideas and products that we're coming up with. And there's some nice rewards and things you can get inside of that community. So definitely check it out. And if you haven't followed us on Fliprio already, then make sure you do that soon enough, because we'll be dropping Flipper.io in less than 10 days now, I guess. Time is on.
Okay, I'm excited, man. I can't wait for that release, and I'm gonna cover it via YouTube. I'm probably gonna review the whole site, man, and give everybody a preview of the site, and show them how everything's working, man. Because this interview has me pumped, man. I'm excited for Flipper.io.
Your energy is infectious.
Yeah,
so am I now.
I know, right? So, okay, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Anthony, just stick around. We're gonna chat a little bit, off air. But once again, shout out to everyone who came to the interview. You have just witnessed another episode of awesome interviews. And today's guest was Flipper.io. And also, once again, shout out to our sponsor, the Space Cadets. And you guys make sure you follow them on Twitter, which is us on Twitter. So look, you guys have a great day. And with that being said, this is your boy Awesomeisjayell, aka the biggest music artist in the metaverse. And don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe. And we are signing off.